What are your views on the theory of Helmand or Harut River in Afghanistan being the RigVedic Naditama Saraswati? And General G.D. Bakshi in many TV shows has said the length of the Saraswati River was 4,600 kilometers in the RigVedic period. But if we now see the maximum length from Mount Kailash to Kutch is about 2 to 2,500 kilometers. That's a very good question. Okay, so yeah, there have been many theories about the Helmand or some other river in Afghanistan being the Rigvedic Saraswati. There is even a Harahvati river in somewhere in Iran that people have proposed could be the Saraswati, right? So the Helmand originally was called the Setumant River. The original name was Setumant. Then later it became Hetumant because the Parsis, the Persians, they pronounce sa as ha. So Setumant became Hetumant. It eventually became Helmand. Setumant means Setubandh river means a river with a dam on it. So that was the original ancient Vedic Sanskrit name of this river. So apparently our ancestors many thousand years ago had built a dam on this river. So this river, the Helmand, is about 1,500 kilometers long, give or take. It's not a very long river, and it is a river that dies in Afghanistan itself. It drains into a lake in Afghanistan. Let me share my map. Let's go to the map. It's always a good idea to share a map and take a look. Let me see. Where is our map? Here we have a map. So let's go to Afghanistan, north of India, Gandhar. And where is the Helmand River? So this large, big river here is most likely the Helmand. Let's see what it's called. Helmand. This is the Helmand River. As you can see, it's a fairly long, large river. It goes from northern Afghanistan all the way to this region here. There is this big lake here that it drains into, and that is the end of the Helmand River. So this is where the Helmand River ends, more or less, somewhere in this region. Right? Okay, so the Helmand River ends somewhere here. It never reaches the sea, and there is no dry riverbed of this river that indicates that in the past, at some point in time in the past, it may have actually drained into the sea. That is not the case. So this river does not ever drain into the sea, and it did not do that in the past also. And it is also not a very long river. It's about 1,000 to 1,500 kilometers long. And it is known that the Saraswati is a river, it was a great, massive, humongous, super large river that drained into the ocean. So that's why the Helmand will not fit the bill, and neither will any other river in Afghanistan, because none of these rivers, they actually drain into the sea. And we know that there is only one massive dry riverbed in the entire Sapta Sindhu region from Gandhar to UP. Only one massive dry riverbed, which stretches from the Himalayas and goes all the way into the Indian Ocean in Kutch. So that is a massive, gigantic dry riverbed. It is several kilometers wide in some places. So that is the only river that could possibly fit the bill that could possibly match the description that is given in the Rig Veda of the Saraswati. It was called the mother of floods, a loudly roaring river. It was a mega river. It was bigger than any other river in this region, bigger than the Sindhu River. So that is why I would not take the claim of the Helmand being the Saraswati seriously, because it simply doesn't agree with the data that we have, right? Or the Harut River. The Harut River is an even smaller river. It's a minor river compared to the Helmand. So these two rivers do not fit the bill. That's the thing. Now, as to what General G.D. Bakshi sir has said in TV shows, so I am not aware of what he has said. If he has claimed that it was so and so kilometers in length, I am not aware of it. I am not privy to such. I have not heard any such claim. Maybe he did, maybe he did not. I'm not sure. So since I have not heard it myself, I will not comment about that. Now, what is the length that is mentioned in the Rig Veda? So the Rig Veda, I'm not sure how it has been described, the length of the river, but the units that were used in the Vedic times were most likely yojanas, right? I think it was yojanas, and we are not quite sure of the conversion from the Rigvedic or ancient Vedic units to kilometers, because we have lost the data, we've lost the information that would enable us to accurately convert from that unit to the modern kilometer unit. And therefore it is, I would be very careful to pass any judgment as to what length is given in the Rig Veda or any ancient Vedic text of this river, right? So that's why I'm not sure what is the exact length that was mentioned, if a proper entire length is given or not, even in the Rig Veda. But from all the information that we have, the geological information, the satellite data, and the ground information, the information we have on the ground level of this riverbed enormous riverbed that we have in front of us, which stretches all the way from the Himalayas to the Indian Ocean. So there's only one such dry riverbed that we have available to us. So from all this information that we have, all the data that we have, we can only conclude that that has to be the location of the Saraswati. And we know that this dry riverbed, I mean, they have conducted tests and all that on this river. It is estimated that this river dried out approximately around 1900 to 1500 BCE, which is about 3.5 to 4,000 years before today. So that kind of matches the what timelines one would expect, right? So from all this information, one can only conclude that that only can be the Saraswati and not the Helmand or the Iranian Harhavati, which seems to be a name given by the Vedic people who migrated to Iran, and they named another river in memory of the great river that they had left behind. It looks like that is the case. So there is a Iranian Harhavati river, a small one, which seems to be named after the great and original Saraswati river. So that's what I have to say. Based on all the information that we have, the best candidate for the Vedic Saraswati is the great dry riverbed that stretches from the Himalayas all the way into the Indian Ocean in Kutch. That is 99.9% the correct river, the correct candidate for the Saraswati.